Hi, you're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. On all of our platforms, I'm Mike Morales here in blustery San Antonio. That gentleman out there is
Jim Johnson in Youngstown, Ohio.
Jim, and I have been really have been taken aback, and I'm chagrined with Azulana. I don't even know if you can see that on my screen. Azulana, you can see it probably better on Jim's screen. Azulana is a tequila cocktail that we've really enjoyed. Their original recipe comes in a blue can. The lime recipe comes in a green. It's the same profile, but it's just a green ribbon across the
Yeah,
top.
just different color and different flavor label at the top.
These guys, go find them on Instagram. Really, really nice. They're doing a great job on their Instagram. They are I would say, fairly well funded. And like I say, at the beginning, I didn't know what to expect from Azulana. I thought this was going to be a combination of Red Bull and syrupy sweet. And I thought it was, I actually, looking at the size of the can, I thought this was an energy drink. And the reason I say that is because you and I have been talking off camera and even on camera about White Claw. If you go to the major supermarkets or liquor stores, you'll see a 4-pack, and they come in about half the size or about two-thirds of the size.
But the profile of the can is similar. I mean, thinner than a regular, what you're used to a soda can.
Yeah, well, even Coke is coming, in smaller cans, but thin like this.
Right.
This, generally speaking, this to me, if I just see it from far away without knowing what it is, I say this is an energy drink. I'd say it's a Red Bull or whatever. But look closely, it isn't.
It's not an energy drink.
Yeah. Now, what is the flavor of this that we're going to taste tonight?
This is something that in my even in my culinary adventures, pineapple rosemary. Who'd have thought?
Okay, I love rosemary. You keep rosemary by your front door entrance. Isn't there like a rhyme or something for whatever? I lived in the Southwest for a long time, so when it rains rosemary is one of those herbs that grows very well in a dry climate, and when it rains, you just smell rosemary just coming at you. But the last time I had rosemary in a tequila, and I didn't tell you this story, but Alex and I were tasting Avion for the first time. We had a couple of bottles sent to us from Ken Austin at the time when he was in the middle of bringing that to market. And Alex, our founder, said, there's an herb in there that I can't place. And I said, yeah, I don't know what. And he goes, it's rosemary. And I said, wow, you picked out rosemary. And I should have known. I had not had. So I'm kind of interested to see what. There's no story behind this.
I am too. I was. The blue flavor is just. It's called original. It's just the carbonated tequila with just a hint of citric acid and some sea salt. The lime has much more citrus in it, and I was worried that maybe that was going to come through with a lot more sugar. It didn't. Pineapple rosemary.
Pineapple rosemary. Who thought? Right?
Let's go.
I don't know. This so far the first two have been brands of promises. Oh, here's the other thing that really impressed us. This is coming. There's a NOM number.
Yes.
1443. All right. Let me, if that number sounds familiar to you folks who've been following us, that is Grupo Industrial Tequila de los Altos de Jalisco. Okay. It's a long name for NOM 1443. The three tequilas that we know have come out of there. There's others, but the ones that we know in general is Dulce Vida, Don Pilar, and Puerto Bello, which Jim and I did earlier this year and is a Brand of Promise nominee as well. So what this is, if you're not familiar with the distillery, it's a co-op. It's a distillery owned by the farmers. And they're not a maquila. They only make a handful of tequilas coming out of there. Campanario is another one, which is very familiar, I think, and you'll see a lot of that in Mexico. So I'm kind of excited. I'm glad that the CEO, his name is Henry Morita.
Morita.
He went old school.
He did.
These are old school cocktails.
Yeah, there's not a lot in them.
No. So Jim's gonna have his chilled. I'm gonna try mine at room temp. Okay. Because I gotta try everything at room temp before I put ice in it or chill it.
That smells natural.
Wow. That smells like I just cut into a ripe pineapple.
It just smells like.
It smells like pineapple juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Just
right on the nose as soon as you open it.
A little bit of that rosemary right at the end, just a touch.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, wow. If you know anything about pineapple, every once in a while, either it's very tart, and sometimes people tame it with a little salt, or it's not sweet enough, and they'll throw. Pineapple's a weird fruit that you can even throw salt or sugar on, or tahini. You know. In fact, that's probably what it tastes more like. I bet if you served this and rim it with tahini, you'd be You'd be at the beach, man.
The rosemary is just at the end. And it's the tartness you would expect from one of those overly tart pineapples, but it's the rosemary that takes over the tartness, and it's got that little bit of herbal flavor on it.
Yeah.
But the sweetness on this, and I'm really surprised they could do this with just agave syrup and citrus flavors, natural citrus flavors. This tastes like a pineapple.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. The rosemary comes at the tail end. It's almost as if the sea salt, kind of brings it up, but it's on the finish. It's on the back end. By the way, there's no burn, there's no finish, there's no nothing. This is, and really even light. Yeah, it's got a very it's not. It doesn't have the bite that a soda water generally does. Like a Perrier, for instance.
This might be my favorite one so far.
And I was hesitating because I wasn't sure, but.
And do not, if you don't like rosemary or herbs, don't be turned off by it, because it's at the very end, and it's the best part of the rosemary flavor that kind of takes that just a little bit of herbal at the end of the pineapple. That's a nice little sweet with a salt citrus finish on it. I think that little bit of rosemary flavor enhances on this.
It's almost again, I'm having this at room temperature, so
yeah,
you're getting that slight bitterness from the citrus that that you would get if you did key limes,
right?
Yeah, that initial
or
belt.
if you get that rosemary, you get that oil off of it, where you get a little bit of that bitter, but not a bad bitter. It's not bitter.
No. The herbal, it's almost like a bitter's bitter.
Right, exactly.
Right? Okay. Now,
I am so impressed with what this smells like, though. I cannot believe what this smells like.
Me neither, because we've had
like fresh fruit.
The last time that I've had fruit in a distillate at full strength was mango, and we had that in the aguardiente that Rick and I had tasted, which was done beautifully, because it wasn't, Rick has told me off camera, he goes, I avoid mango like the plague. But when we had that, if it's distilled right and you're using real mangoes, it's lovely, and this is right up there, man. I thought I was going to get something akin to Hawaiian Punch. Yet I didn't know what to expect. I'm looking at this can and I'm thinking it's an energy drink, man. It's got to be syrupy sweet or something.
No, and honestly, the lightness of this and the sweetness of this, that rosemary flavor on the end is subtle, but this is as easy drinking as the other two, and the pineapple flavor on this does have a little bit of tartness, but it does have some natural sweetness to it. I just cannot get over how much this smells like I cut into a pineapple, though.
Yeah, right off the bat, you're getting it, and it's not an artificially sweetened pineapple. Again,
Now, none of this is tasted chemically or artificial.
Yeah, it's not an additive. Rick and I recently did a tequila that had the Blanco had some sort of additive that was not. It was very prevalent with the right glassware, and it was artificial mango, and there's a big difference between the artificial faintness, the artificial sweetness of a mango that by the way, that was not their intention, because it's not an infused tequila. That is
right.
That didn't belong there. Okay. But we've had real mango, where it says up front on the label, this is an aguardiente that's distilled with mangoes, as opposed to we're going to hide it from you and you'll never taste it.
Right.
This is real. This is a real.
Oh, yeah. Because there's not much of an aftertaste on this, except the taste you would get if you had lemon water and that lemon flavor hung around a little bit. Yeah. It is just a natural citrus flavor that hangs around with the carbonation for just a little bit. But
well, if it does any coating on your palate, it's probably from the agave syrup that they're using, and that's part of the ingredients. But now chilled, now cold like this, I can taste more of the rosemary.
Right. And you're right. It's like you put just a little bit of bitters into but a citrus bitter, like an orange bitter or something like that. It's not off-putting. It's not. It blends very nicely with the pineapple because it starts sweet, finishes with just a little bitter and salt and citrus, and wow.
This is the best one.
This is the best one. Yeah, I'm impressed. It was pineapple rosemary.
Yeah, Jim and I looked at each other off camera and we're going, I don't know, man. What possessed this guy to put these two flavors together? That's what I want to know. See, I can get the first two. I understand agave and tequila. By the way, this is all done with white tequilas. Now, they're not using reposados or añejos or anything like that, because they'll say so. This is just Blanco tequila, okay? So, and I get the second version with the lime. I understand that. That makes sense. This didn't make any sense to me, and I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm starting to think about, like, how do I do pork dishes with pineapple and rosemary, and I get instead of wine, you serve this.
Well, now this one, I'm not sure how the other two were really. We had talked about, if you go to a tailgate party or you're out to the beach with friends or whatever it is, but this one could be served as a cocktail. I'm telling you, you rim you salt the rim with a little tahini on the side or one side of it, like you said, even with some of the other ones, you could throw an extra wedge of lime or orange or grapefruit, or pick one, or even the dried. Right now the dried wedges are a big deal now. Of course, all you'd be doing is rehydrating it, but
right.
I think a sprig of rosemary.
I think a sprig of rosemary through a piece of pineapple on this would be great.
I'm speechless.
This is really, I was expecting this flavor to have to do a little bit more on the sweet side or a little bit more on the artificial side to pull this off, and they didn't, and they pulled it off.
Well, again, I say it's a testament to the fact that they're using real tequila as opposed to diffused tequila.
Well, but the flavor that they're getting off of everything else, it's all natural flavors and ingredients. I mean, there's sea salt in this. There's natural pineapple and rosemary flavor and some citrus, and it is blended. It's blended perfectly. It's a great, easy, light flavor profile that nothing's too overpowering about it. If you can get this and it's in a can, I mean, throw it in the cooler and take it with you.
Yeah. Go fishing.
Go fishing. So I don't know, but I mean, this is the can kind of gives you an idea that maybe this is loaded up with stuff you don't want to taste.
Right.
It is not in any way loaded up with stuff you don't want to taste. And the sparkling water part of it is good. It's not overcarbonated. It's not astringent or overly bitter. It's light.
Yeah, everything about all three of these varieties have been light, and they really don't. They really say it. Well, they say it on their label. You know, refreshing and authentic. Yeah, I mean,
and honestly, if you told somebody that this didn't have alcohol in it, if they had enough ice in it, they could drink it like it was just a regular seltzer water.
Sure.
A flavored.
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of those guys that just when you're out in public, you just want to drink light, or you got stuff to do, and you don't want to be weighed down with something that's higher ABV. This is ideal. Well, that's where a lot of the cocktail menus now are getting to that point where they're mocktails. Recipe books have low. This seems to be a trend as well. I have read in some of the materials that I've seen where lower alcohol drinks and beverages are becoming a thing now, which explains White Claw and stuff like that. But this is a step up, ladies and gentlemen. This is not your your typical 4-pack of this is a good solid cocktail, man.
It is. It's not overly sugary. It's not the taste on it is so light and natural tasting that if you have access to this and you like anything that's carbonated or ready to drink and you're not a light beer fan, I would go with this. And some people might pick this up and think that this doesn't have alcohol in it because it's just the flavor of it blends so nicely. You don't get any aftertaste that suggests there was a malted thing in there that was not good. There's a few of those ready to drinks where that aftertaste is a little.
Yeah, that malt liquor taste. Yeah.
Yeah. This is it.
Yeah, I am very impressed. Again, this is Azulana. The gentleman's name, the owner or the CEO, is Henry Morita. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. The PR company was really nice to get these out to us. It's called Azulana. Pick them up, whatever flavor. I say go out on an edge and try the pineapple.
Absolutely.
Pineapple rosemary. If you're adventurous, your lime makes sense to you. The agave flavor, spirit, taste makes sense to you, but that doesn't make sense to you. That's the one you got to try, because hey, as far as we're concerned, all three are Brands of Promise nominee and the ready to drink category. It is what the official sparkling
tequila of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. So hey, 2020, go celebrate and go get yourself some Azulana. But that's our take on Azulana, all three varieties. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. That gentleman helping me out there is
Jim Johnston in Youngstown, Ohio.
You have been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our social media platforms. If you're listening to us on Spotify, please subscribe and download your podcast wherever you're listening to. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the red button. Whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.